Let us talk about computer studies. Computers are everywhere today. They are in your phones, your cars, your banks, your schools, and even your watches. Understanding how computers work is essential for your exams and for your future. This is Topic 1. We are discussing the introduction to computer studies. By the end of this lesson, you will understand what a computer is, the characteristics of computers, the basic concepts of data and information, the differences between data and information, the classification of computers, and how to answer exam questions. Take your notes. Let us go. First, what is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that accepts data as input, processes that data according to a set of instructions, produces information as output, and stores the results for future use. The word computer comes from the word compute, which means to calculate. Early computers were used mainly for mathematical calculations, but modern computers can do much more. They can play music, show videos, connect to the internet, control machines, and perform millions of other tasks. Let me break down the definition of a computer into its key components. Input is the raw data that is fed into the computer. This can come from a keyboard, mouse, microphone, camera, scanner, or other input device. Processing is the manipulation of data by the computer's central processing unit. This is where the actual work happens. Output is the result produced by the computer. This can appear on a screen, come out of a speaker, be printed on paper, or be sent to another device. Storage is where data and information are kept for future use. This can be on a hard drive, solid-state drive, USB drive, or in the cloud. Now, let me explain the characteristics of computers. These are the features that make computers so powerful and useful. The first characteristic is speed. Computers can process data extremely fast. They can perform millions or even billions of operations per second. What would take a human days or weeks to calculate, a computer can do in a fraction of a second. The speed of a computer is measured in hertz. 1 hertz is 1 cycle per second. Modern computers operate at gigahertz speeds, which is billions of cycles per second. The second characteristic is accuracy. Computers are very accurate. They do not make mistakes in processing. If the input is correct and the instructions are correct, the output will be correct. However, computers can produce wrong output if the input is wrong. This is called garbage in, garbage out. The computer itself does not make errors. Errors come from humans who give the computer wrong data or wrong instructions. The third characteristic is reliability. Computers are consistent. They will produce the same output every time they are given the same input and instructions. They do not get tired, bored, or distracted. They can work for hours, days, or months without stopping. This makes them very reliable for repetitive tasks. The fourth characteristic is storage. Computers can store huge amounts of data. A single computer can store millions of books, thousands of songs, or hundreds of movies. The data can be retrieved quickly and accurately. Storage capacity is measured in bytes. 1 byte can store 1 character. 1 kilobyte is about 1,000 bytes. 1 megabyte is about 1 million bytes. 1 gigabyte is about 1 billion bytes. 1 terabyte is about 1 trillion bytes. The fifth characteristic is versatility. Computers can perform many different tasks. The same computer that you use to write a letter can also be used to play games, watch movies, browse the internet, make video calls, and control other machines. This is because computers are programmable. They can be given different instructions to perform different tasks. The sixth characteristic is diligence. Computers do not get tired. They can perform the same task repeatedly without losing concentration. A human doing the same task for hours would get bored and make mistakes. A computer does not. The seventh characteristic is automation. Computers can work automatically once they are given instructions. They do not need constant human supervision. A computer can run a program from start to finish without anyone touching it. Now let me explain the difference between data and information. This is a very important concept for your exam. Data is raw, unprocessed facts and figures. Data has no meaning by itself. It is just a collection of numbers, letters, or symbols. For example, the numbers 25, 30, 35 are data. By themselves, they do not tell us much. Information is data that has been processed, organized, and given meaning. Information is useful and meaningful. For example, if I tell you that 25, 30, and 35 are the ages of 3 students, that is information. The numbers now have meaning. Let me give you another example. The letters M, A, R, K, E, T, I, N, G is data. It is just a string of letters. But when you put them together as marketing, it becomes information. You know that it refers to a subject. Another example, a list of temperatures like 28, 30, 32, 29 is data. When you know that these are the daily temperatures in Lagos for 4 days, that is information. The key difference is that data is raw and unprocessed. Information is processed and meaningful. Now let me explain the classification of computers. Computers can be classified by size, purpose, and technology. By size and power, computers are classified into supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini-computers, and microcomputers. Supercomputers are the largest and fastest computers. They are used for very complex scientific and engineering calculations. They can perform trillions of calculations per second. Supercomputers are used for weather forecasting, climate research, molecular modeling, and nuclear simulations. They are very expensive. Only large governments, research institutions, and universities can afford them. Mainframe computers are also large and powerful, but not as powerful as supercomputers. They are used by large organizations to process millions of transactions every day. Banks, insurance companies, and government agencies use mainframes. They can handle many users at the same time. Mini-computers are smaller than mainframes but larger than microcomputers. They were popular in the 1970s and 1980s, but have largely been replaced by powerful microcomputers. Microcomputers are the computers that most people use. They are also called personal computers or PCs. Microcomputers are small enough to fit on a desk or in a bag. They are used for word processing, internet browsing, gaming, and many other tasks. Microcomputers include desktop computers, laptop computers, tablet computers, and smartphones. Desktop computers sit on a desk. They are not portable. Laptop computers are portable. They can be carried and used anywhere. Tablet computers have touchscreens and no physical keyboard. Smartphones are mobile phones that have computer capabilities. By purpose, computers are classified into general-purpose computers and special-purpose computers. General-purpose computers can perform many different tasks. They can be used for writing, calculating, gaming, browsing, and more. Most computers are general-purpose. Special-purpose computers are designed to do only one specific task. They are built into other machines. For example, the computer in a microwave oven is a special-purpose computer. It only controls the microwave. The computer in a car's engine is a special-purpose computer. It only manages the engine. By technology, computers are classified into analog computers, digital computers, and hybrid computers. Analog computers use continuous physical quantities to represent data. They measure rather than count. For example, a speedometer in a car is an analog device. It uses a needle to show speed. Analog computers are not common today. Digital computers use discrete numbers to represent data. They count rather than measure. Most computers today are digital. Hybrid computers have features of both analog and digital computers. They are used in specialized applications like medical equipment and scientific instruments. A common exam question asks you to define a computer and explain its characteristics. Here is a sample answer. A computer is an electronic device that accepts data as input, processes it, produces information as output, and stores results. The characteristics of computers include speed, accuracy, reliability, storage, versatility, diligence, and automation. These characteristics make computers powerful tools for many tasks. Another exam question asks you to distinguish between data and information. Here is your answer. Data is raw, unprocessed facts and figures that have no meaning by themselves. Information is data that has been processed, organized, and given meaning. Data is the input to a computer. Information is the output. For example, the numbers 25, 30, 35 are data. When told that these are the ages of 3 students, that becomes information. Another exam question asks you to classify computers by size and power. Here is your answer. By size and power, computers are classified into supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini-computers, and microcomputers. Supercomputers are the largest and fastest, used for complex scientific calculations. Mainframes are used by large organizations for transaction processing. Mini-computers are mid-sized. Microcomputers are personal computers, including desktops, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Here is what you need to take away. A computer is an electronic device that inputs, processes, outputs, and stores data. Its characteristics include speed, accuracy, reliability, storage, versatility, diligence, and automation. Data is raw and unprocessed. Information is processed and meaningful. Computers are classified by size into supercomputers, mainframes, mini-computers, and microcomputers. Practice these definitions. When you have them down, move to topic 2.